in a 3 mile walk or however long you end up going. It's very appreciated when it's capable of creating.
So now it's like I'm pushing an extra or pulling an extra 50 pounds with me, but
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
fine. It is what it is.
We might have to move this closer
Go for it.
in the future.
Dude, I just.
Not this time, but next time.
I got to Evolution 7.
Yes, tell me about Evolution 7.
Love it. The Captain Connolly.
Oh, high level standards.
Dude,
Yeah.
I sit there, it's like. I was that guy in college. I was like, but now, like, I understand the concept of like, you need to switch rooms. And so I hit up all the crop pressure kids and I'm like. He literally was like, this was such a bad run. It was a 6:44 pace average for 12 miles. And I was like, all right, brother, like, let's run. Let's run. What's going on? Let's pick one of your easy ways to run with you. And he's going to like college for it, like he just graduated.
Yeah,
He's legit.
Yeah.
Like,
he's a real one.
yeah, he is a real, like, he like gyms for the sake of running. I like run and then also definitely focus more on the gym. This kid's legit, so
You like run casually and he's like, I do this.
yeah. So, I don't know. I'm excited though. Well, fear in my heart right now. This kid's gonna cook me.
He's absolutely going to. But guess who's gonna get a whole lot better at running?
Me and then also my crew.
Yeah, you're gonna be the Goggins series, Captain Connolly.
Yeah. Which is crazy to hear guys be like, yeah, I was 21 and I was like. I was close.
And not even that, he was just like, I thought I was great
Yeah,
until I saw somebody who was
yeah.
really doing it.
And he was like praying on him to have like a downfall. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, he's like, oh, he's gonna slow down at some point.
With the sling.
Yeah, I'm talking about the run where he was like, well, I was gonna hike the uphills and run the downhills and the flats, right?
Yeah.
And then he's like, he saw this guy take off running on the uphill and he was
Yeah.
like, no, I'm gonna pass him at some point, he's gonna die on the side of the road.
Yeah.
And then
He's like,
you
I saw
get to the
finish
end
line.
and he's doing push-ups, like. Okay, he's doing extra just because you weren't here yet.
Dude, crazy.
It's a different level. Yeah,
Are you talking about the guy?
Captain Connolly,
Yeah.
yeah.
Dude.
Great read, right?
I'm gonna go ahead and say something with that, since we're on the subject of books.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to read that book.
The Traveler's Gift.
Isn't it crazy?
Every single person on the planet, I'm making my mom and my wife read it.
I completely understand.
Everyone needs to read that book.
I want you to say that a little bit louder on camera because somebody tried to argue with me when I told them we had to put it on the book list.
Who?
How good that book was. I'm not gonna name names, but I just want you to say it for the record. It wasn't you, but somebody
Yeah,
tried to argue with me.
That book needs to be added to everyone's book list. Like, I'm gonna go ahead and push your little thing off to the side that you said everybody needs to read in high school. That book needs to be read in high school.
That's more than understandable. There are deeply profound lessons.
Unbelievable.
on every single.
I didn't catch the name of it.
The Traveler's Gift.
So the Traveler's Gift is on your top 10, 12 required reads. If you ever want to
12,
see it.
yes, the 12 must reads.
It is on the 12 must reads for sure. One of my absolute personal favorites, and I highly recommend it.
That's my favorite book I've ever read.
Really?
You're feeling that today.
Yep.
I've been,
It's almost like that.
Looks like you know me a little bit.
it's like weird to be proud of like, yep, I read this.
You read that one?
No. I'm just saying like when you're going through the book list.
Have you read it though?
No.
Why?
Because I gotta let you love it. Because you just read Never Finished, and I'm reading Never Finished.
That's fair.
So I'll probably read that one next.
You need to co-sign.
I've got to.
That is not true at all.
Tonight starts Cash Flow Quadrant.
Ah, so you finished it.
Yeah,
You finished it. Good for you.
in like 13 days.
Love it. So what do you think? Like 7
Instead
out
of,
of 10, 10 out of 10,
for what?
12 out of 10,
For the Traveler's Gift, 12 out of 10.
easily as well. Yeah, fair enough.
Like, I'm gonna start sending it to people that I think need to read it.
Completely understand. That's at everybody's level that they could digest. It really takes some. thinking about it. Abraham Lincoln.
And my favorite part about it, the reason I think everyone needs to read it is no matter what's happened in your life or going on in your life, you can relate every single aspect of that book to them. So every lesson isn't a lesson for specific people. Every lesson is something that's every single person can grab and turn into their own story. Phenomenal.
Glad you enjoyed it. Good morning to all. Let's start this up the right way. Does anybody have any wins? It is a beautiful Monday. Good stuff is happening in the world. Any wins? Anything good going on?
Cool, couple houses over the weekend.
Couple houses sold over the weekend. I saw a big fire in the chat. It's
Sold Mark's house, personal house,
oh, that was Mark's house.
Yep.
Okay, good.
the hardest house to sell every 2 years.
Love that. Love that for you and for Mark. Yeah. Okay, so tell us about it. Tell us about this house. Why is it so hard to sell? How did it go wrong?
Anybody who buys one of Mark's houses has to understand that they can't move in until Mark's new house is done. He won't start his new house until he gets his house sold. So it's anywhere from 8 to 12 months before they can move in, and they have to put it under contract. And there's like a 4 pages of caveats that are added into it for very specific verbiage of what's included, what's not included, what he will do, what he won't do, all of that. He's a very contract driven person. Okay. So every time I negotiate one of Mark's houses, it usually takes him anywhere from 3 days to a week.
Okay, that's exciting. All right.
But it's worth it, like. Is it?
And somehow they always still seem to sell.
Yep.
Take care of the clients.
It's worth it because we keep Mark happy and we do a lot of business with Mark. So taking on a headache every couple of years is well worth it.
Walking along.
Yeah.
Love it. All right, exciting.
And then
And then,
I sold another one that was in Lincoln over the weekend. That one was a good friend of mine, past client of mine, is getting a divorce. And she needed a place that she could go like as fast as humanly possible. And we had to jump through hoops and have her LLC buy it and do all sorts of fun things. She's in the middle of the divorce, but she's very, very happy. Except for the phone call I got on Saturday night. And she was freaking out because she happened to know the person who lived in the house previously. And she said, I lived in that house when my mom died. And she took that as my mom died in the house. And so I had to walk her through the fact that her mom didn't die in the house and is not haunting the house currently. And that she's gonna be fine and she can still live in the house.
Is that a real thing?
Yes, they do haunt
Yeah,
the
people
house.
die.
Yeah, if they die in the house, no.
why?
Don't do that.
People do actually
Ask
not.
that question. Yeah, I'm sorry. That was rude. Please, what's your question?
It's 9:28, man. No, like, is that a real concern for a lot of
Yes.
buyers?
It is her biggest fear.
Yikes.
It's the reason that we bought a brand new house last time we bought a house.
Does stuff happen? Like, it's like, oh, that door opened.
She's watched The Conjuring one too many times.
Okay, that's it.
The answer to that question is it depends on who you ask. So here it is. That is a belief system that exists in a variety of ways. So, all right, love it. Any other wins? All right, ladies and gentlemen, since it is Monday, I want to invite you to pull out your goals. Today is the day to refresh, renew that vision, repaint onto the canvas of your mind exactly what it is you're trying to create, exactly who it is you must become in order to get those things in front of you. Okay? Take a second to just remind yourself exactly what it is that gets you out of bed every morning, why you bother to show up, why you bother to jump on Zoom, why you bother to sell houses at all. Just remind yourself of exactly what it is you're trying to create. And at this time, I want to make sure you very specifically write down what do you need to do this week in order to move yourself closer to those goals. Last week, we talked about being very clear on exactly what you are trying to move towards, exactly what it looks like, exactly what you're trying to create. And I want you to take a second and just get very clear on those two things. One, what are we trying to get, create, or be? What is that thing in vivid detail as if it's in front of you and you can touch it? And then what are 2 things that you can do this week? What 2 things specifically will you do this week in order to move yourself closer to that thing? And it is the clarity that will make it easier for you to execute on those things not the other way around. Again, when the vision is clear, the sacrifices that you have to make are easy. Okay, the sacrifices don't get easier, the vision makes them easier. So get very clear on where we're trying to go. And then we will just laser focus on these 2 steps that will move you closer. And we're just gonna inch our way closer and closer and closer until this year is over and you've got a life much, much more grand than the life you began the year with. That's my goal for you. Okay, and when you're clear on what it is you're trying to create and what are the 2 things specifically that you will do this week in order to move yourself closer to those goals. I want you to find a partner and share exactly what it is you're trying to create and what it is you will do this week. Share both of those things. Ask for accountability and offer to hold your partner accountable for the things that they said they would do. All right, so take a second and do that now. Because here's the truth about accountability, ladies and gentlemen. Most of us know what to do, don't we? We're pretty clear on what we're supposed to do. The hard part is actually sticking to the plan and doing it. Right, when your creativity kicks in and you want to change the plan. When fatigue sets in and you need to take a break. Or you think you need to take a break. Or you just decide, you know what, this doesn't matter to me anymore. I don't care, I'm over it. I'm not doing it anymore. All right. So take this moment, find a partner, get yourself some accountability, add that layer of pressure that will help take you to the next level. Find a partner when you have both those things written down. I'm gonna give you guys, let's go 5 minutes. So go 5 minutes, find a partner, share exactly what you're going to do and where it is you're trying to go. Ready? Break. All right. And if you're still thinking, keep thinking. Get very clear on this, get very specific, know exactly where you're trying to go, what you're trying to create, what do you have to do. It's all right, it takes you a minute.
Yeah.
Think it through. Be
Need to get
intentional
to
about this.
20 houses still, so
About a
5
block.
contacts minimum. And then 15.
Technically, where you need
Where you at?
inspiration or
I
somebody is
am
cooking.
1 for today.
No, I mean, where are you at on your houses? 7 closed. And 3 pending, so you need 10 more.
There's 1 extra.
Are you capable of selling a house?
So that she didn't add in the tracker.
Are you capable of working on trying for that?
Oh, it
Well, stay at that.
doesn't close. You wanna know why it's like that? Because right now, technically, $15,696,023.
That's a bummer.
But
You need to invite, you need to get 20 RSVPs to ballots. You need 20 people that are gonna ballot.
here,
What did you do last year?
I have.
so this year, I need to be 20.
You need to help 40 families.
So I'm not counting March. $6,293,977.
That's not that bad. You just had 1 month.
So I need to do that by October 31st.
Easy.
So busy,
I
forgot.
just gotta be careful.
It's a good process ahead.
Yep.
Sorry, yet.
And I need to lose a step on the scale this morning.
Oh, no.
So I.
So I need to
Start earlier.
0.4
Say later.
Or that like that.
No,
once
you need to give up gummy bears.
You wanna be there before the
You
wedding?
need to,
by the end of this.
I don't know.
That's my fighting way.
That's not good.
But the fun thing is that I started this in 206 morning. So 207.
All right, give me one for each year. What do you say? The
Uh,
hard one.
hard one.
I don't know that, but
challenge. But this was.
So I'm losing that. I'm just not there yet.
Today.
And then.
Well, make a video. You have a hard copy.
It's really happy.
Tell somebody.
So. They guys think.
They're knocking on everything.
Fantastic. What else did I had? I wanted to do 10 roofs this year.
Yeah.
It was done.
If I want to step on scale, you didn't take that picture.
3 roof projects. But. So that was done on the back. But watched Creed 3 this weekend. So now me and my boy are gonna be doing some sparring. This is on schedule. We're going for the head for the title.
Right?
Which one of you guys going to jail first?
Great question. He does have a handgun. I do too, but I think he's more inclined to get like a felony or something than I am.
There you go, okay.
Like,
That's good.
So he's gonna knock you out.
well,
Having it.
no, it's not. He didn't knock him out.
30 boxes.
When he's on the beach, then knocks him down.
Good morning.
Poor guy, great actor.
Great.
Great actor.
Neil.
Buenos dias.
See, I already did that one.
You showed it on the perfect time you're doing
They
the
like
like.
me fluctuating. We was down to like 222 down to 217.
You gotta update it.
I need 2 more minutes, 2 more minutes.
My numbers are pretty good updated. I think.
Oh, that's the one.
Now I give you 2 more minutes. Does your partner need to challenge themselves a little bit?
And we did 3 miles.
Is what's in front of you too easy that you don't need to take it seriously?
Per day.
Do the 2 things that you committed to
Next meeting.
demand a different level from you?
Send me a screenshot of your.
It's the truth, people who make unrealistic promises to themselves and keep them,
Send me a picture of that every day.
get to live the unrealistic lives. What does your accountability look like?
That's my-
That's my question for you. Are you checking in daily? Every morning, every night,
How can you hold me?
twice a day,
Um,
at noon, at lunch, during recap, before recap?
thank you. but good. So I'm on point with all my stuff, except my phone.
When will you check in?
My phone calls.
Make sure you did what you said you would do.
Will be really tough this week. 'cause I've got
Citizen Echo Drive?
a ton of appointments. Today, you know, one of the things that's on here is I booked my 35 minutes. So, we got that meeting.
We got,
Alright,
we got a big order of Jeff and one of the projects.
alright, 30 seconds, 30 seconds.
It's like 700K. He was still because when we met with Jack, and Jack was like, that's like proceeding to sell his house. But he was looking at best, but sounds like Jack has already know that already has an end. So we didn't know.
Well, yeah, I've got. I'll read through all. Sit through. But yeah, I gotta break 30 minutes by October 31st.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, find a good place to stop. Come on back. Let's talk for just a second before we go into role play. I want to give you a chance to practice a little bit today. Has to happen at the absolute highest level. But by a show of hands, has anybody seen The Matrix in here? Has anybody seen the Matrix movie?
So, what?
Correct. Yes, for those of us born in the 1900s, phenomenal flick, well ahead of its time. Deeply profound lessons throughout the movie. One of my favorite quotes in the movie, Morpheus, the Afro-American character from the movie. He makes this statement. This, what'd you say? Not the first one, the Oracle? Oh, you're right. You're right. She, okay, fair. All right. Anyway, so Morpheus, he makes a statement in the movie, and it's one of my favorite quotes from the movie, and he simply says, there's a difference between knowing the path and walking the path. Okay, this is something that you have probably gotten a chance to experience in your real estate career, and it's one of the truest things about learning the for sale by owner conversion process. Okay, so when I tell you something like in question 2, we ask a very irregular question for the average seller in the marketplace. We ask, are you willing to do a 3% co-op if an agent brings you a home? Okay, for a lot of reasons, this is a very powerful question. And you hear me tell you, it doesn't matter what people say. It doesn't matter if they say, Absolutely not. If they say 1%, if they say, yes, that's great, like, it doesn't matter what they say. You hear me say that. But how do you really know if you haven't gotten a chance to experience having that conversation for yourself? Okay, so today I want you and your partner to practice having that part of the conversation. I want you to practice asking your partner if they're open to the 3% co-op if an agent brings them a buyer. And I want you to practice all the variations of, no, I will not, absolutely not. I heard somebody will do it for 1%. I'm willing to pay 2%. You know what, absolutely, that's no problem, I'll do 3%. Or I'm never working with an agent ever again, get off my phone. I want you and your partner to practice and experience that in real time, so that you understand what it feels like to hear that answer, and then to walk through it and begin to ask the next set of questions, okay? We've talked about it already, so I want to give you a chance to practice it, and then we'll get to talk through how it went, what you learned, what can go better on the next round, all right? So find a partner, and I want you to practice, especially where you practice just questions 1, 2, and 3 today, just seeing if you can get smoothly through all the variations of, what will somebody say to the effect of, would you be willing to do the 3% co-op if an agent brought you a buyer? All right, so find a partner, and I want you to practice that. We're gonna practice that for about 10 minutes today. And I want you to just get very well versed in how we hear whatever the answer is, and we keep the conversation moving. All right, so I want you to feel what it's like to walk through that. Find a partner, we'll practice that just 1, 2, and 3 today, walking through those steps. All right, find a partner, I'm gonna practice that with your partner. And if you need extra copies, make sure you see JJ, he can get you an extra copy. If you don't have one or have it pulled up, scripts also available on MerakiAgent.com if you need them. MerakiAgent.com.
All right, Gab, you ready?
No.
Yes.
Additional scripts available at any time. If you need a print one, look at one, do your thing, MerakiAgent.com. Available there. I'm gonna leave that on the board, a language that's everybody will want. Tell them just go over that. MerakiAgent.com.
I learned this event, I'm a little really,
Okay,
that's good, I'm doing great, I saw your book on the Little Love for Sale, and I know you're selling it. I'm just curious, are you on the pay 3%? It brings the buyers off, and you're not going to pay that? No problem, well, let me ask you this, hypothetically, if you got to off of that next year, they wanted to hear you, that.
Yeah, that was off right now. It's gonna be, you already
Have a good day.
Well, let me ask you this, is that what you're making, or are you still looking at?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and who, finance?
So.
That's how they do that on overgrown lot.
Hi, good morning. This is Sophia. I'm a local realtor.
I'm okay, how about yourself?
I'm doing great. Hey, I saw your home on the market for sale. I heard you're selling it under the home.
These are reads.
Sure, yeah.
So.
Sure.
Yeah.
So when I was growing up, my best, my brother's best friend, my brother.
You know, we were.
Even though I'm around that same deal, God.
Yeah.
We can hear a lot about you, but I'm just.
Yeah, that when I was actually said something to.
Yes.
Sure. Okay. If I got an offer that. If
This from the law.
no reason.
Yeah.
Okay. If I got an offer that meant the money that you need even after paying.
I said yes,
The Harsh Partners are the buyer.
Right. So
Right.
is the property
So-
vacant or are you selling?
They almost got to be off
Okay, perfect.
because we had a free fall. When we said they were.
If you with the.
And now they're having trouble getting their financing done because mom had to file tax.
Okay, if they do.
Hey, good morning, Sean. Ben, I'm a local realtor. How are you?
I'm doing well.
But now the loan officer-
I'm doing well as well. I actually bought your home over on, and I know you're selling on your own. Are you willing to pay the 3%? That is, buyers.
Yeah, right.
No. Yeah, I was saying like that. Probably let me. And you're up to the spot. Well, let me ask you. You're trying to-
Yeah.
It was supposed to close on-
Even after paying a commission, would you at least consider looking at it?
EJ Warbeck, he is.
No, that's okay. I totally understand where you're coming from.
Not really.
No.
Very good.
I'm actually doing properties for a couple of my other clients, so I want to do. When you really can't do anything about it, stop by and take a look at it.
They will have to sign for anything.
That's what I thought.
It's not up to
5
you.
p.m.
You need to get this.
5 p.m. tomorrow.
You need to get ready.
Well, I'll go ahead and I'll get that set up to 5 p.m. tomorrow. And we'll
We're
start
gonna
waiting
wait,
on-
yeah,
So that way I can send you my info. Perfect. And let me ask you this, are you still living in that place or is it vacant?
You need to pay for them to go to HR. You pay $100.
Where did you move to?
$100 for HR. They have that, you know.
That's quite a bit to know that out mortgage. And I don't get that, they don't know the property.
You can give it to them.
That's all. So you've been driving back and forth
I
quite a
can't do
bit.
anything without their
Yeah.
approval. So you need to-
Well, yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll plan on 5 p.m. tomorrow.
Because Sarah
Tomorrow evening and
texted me
if
this
anyone
morning
needs
to
to change,
put
I'll
that
let you know.
link down there anyway.
Good.
And literally as I texted Sarah Hancock, I'm getting this from the loan officer.
I will let you know. Tentatively plan on the day, when is it supposed to close?
For 23rd.
Oh, 23rd. So you're already. Okay. They can get this done. They can HR flat or they can turbo tax. it. They can
Sorry about that.
You can turbo tax and be done. Yes.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Takes it out.
DJ, let's go. DJ, you're forking over $100 for that, you get on turbo tax. And that's what I was like,
Go for sale, so you can play on your own.
how do they get it free for? That would be my place.
Wow.
Can I actually find it?
No, okay.
Right. Oh, wow.
That's all I asked for. Let her ask.
Well, that's not what that meant to them. You need to ask the information.
Honest question.
Trying to get it in writing.
It's an honest question, Dave.
Right. Would it, I mean. Did I
And.
half think you're joking, but I know you're
I
serious.
100% think you should ask that,
Okay.
because the answer to that leads to, you should get it set up.
Okay.
Whatever that answer is, leads to, yes, I have made a mistake and I will make the mistake right for everybody.
Okay. Cool. Really good.
The day, he wants the house, sellers don't want to sell it, and somewhere in the middle, you've got to figure out what the heck is going on here.
Yeah, because even the seller texted me over the weekend and she's like,
So good.
she's like, I have a feeling that she's like, how did they?
You know, on the first.
Just got off the phone with the buyer's under asking for an update. She said, the tow borrow or driving her feet. Other than that, the deal was solid. We entered into the deal and that the buyers were able to close and I didn't.
Then you would just say total 10.
Like,
I'm actually
yeah,
saying
thank you.
we look down to that.
You're correct.
Right.
You don't do the rest.
I'm as complete as you are, and now the lender's gonna make it right
Let me ask you this, is that property
there.
vacant?
Because if they don't, your clients are gonna lose their earned deposit, that's all that happens.
But if
Yeah.
you're still like, you know.
And the house
Correct.
and the new school that she's already.
Enrolled.
They're going to.
I,
Yeah.
what do you
Got two in the barrel for
Like,
Everybody is?
like,
Yeah,
I'm good, but then.
we'll talk about it.
I think I ran through how much left. and
You know, that's totally fine.
You didn't get a chance, but-
Probably do work with a lot of buyers. Well, look at it. They did that probably.
Hey, I saw your home on 123 Main Street, but, you know, I didn't know you're selling on your own. It's an experience, like, are you just part of center? You didn't just part of center, what do you just?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, we're selling our home, and it's only been on the market for days, I think at this point, we don't want to be spending.
Did he just Cardinal sin again?
I did not.
Now, if you got them out with it,
Hey,
that's the money that
be
he.
careful.
You're paying commission.
The second you say the word buyer, guess what the seller?
Yeah.
Guess what the seller? I know you didn't say it, but guess what they heard? Don't you cardinal sin in front of me.
If we got.
You're better than that. Cardinal sin is telling a seller that you have a buyer. So when you say we have lots of buyers, guess what the seller just heard? You have lots of people who want to buy my house.
Say I'm fast.
Why don't you bring it back?
Hey, I saw your home on 123 Main Street.
So cardinal sin is the thing you don't say.
Are you willing to take 3% off of the neighborhood?
What do you say?
If the, if
What do you mean?
the village is saying no.
I saw another thing saying.
House.
No, you're not right at that. Right now, or you can go into the next question.
What is that?
Keep going. So like, what are you saying now?
Well, I'm just saying like.
Someone's always getting paid.
Okay, so he's saying that a lot of realtors already called.
Yes.
A lot of realtors called him. He doesn't have
Yeah.
to do realtors
Yeah, I guess.
saying, you know, going to everybody. And.
Yeah.
What everything? Let me hear it.
Okay, just to. Like, okay, no, I want to talk to you today, kind of thing. And that's what I was
Just
asking him,
go
do you
through
write
this, and
this?
questions that come up,
Like,
and
makes
then,
sense. Let's
You're gonna have
do
like,
this.
look,
Or
I'll tell you a
just
lot of
let
questions.
it go and
to
say,
understand more about the process. Why would we do this?
I appreciate that.
And there's-
Let me show you two weeks.
So it's totally okay to let it go.
Yeah,
And the question that I love to ask, and you can genuinely just ask people, is, let me ask, hold on, he's got it, hold on, say it.
Let me ask you, how long are you willing to try to sell a house on your own before you explore other opportunities?
okay.
That's it. Here's the question. You ready for this? If you need to write it down, write it down. Here it is, right here. Let me ask you. How long are you willing to sell this completely on your own before you might be open to some other options? Whatever the other options are, letting agents show it, listing it, keeping it, renting it, whatever the other options might be. How long are you willing to do this completely on your own before you might be open to some of those other options?
Okay.
Because now instead of us talking about a buyer, we're talking about when do the other options kick in? Because I'm ready for you whenever that is, and I'm cool if it's, you know, a year from now,
Okay.
or 2 years from now, or 2 months from now, or tomorrow. Which for most people is sooner. Especially if they're that mean to everybody. Everybody else is gonna tuck tail and run, or
Yeah,
they're gonna start lying and saying they got buyers and doing all kinds of stuff they can't do. Cardinal sin, we don't do that. How long are you willing to do this completely on your own? Before you might be open to some.
When are you asking? When?
If for some reason, if they're completely averse to talking to you, if they say, nope, don't talk to me, I don't talk to agents, why are you asking me all these questions? Do you have a buyer? If you don't have a buyer, I don't wanna talk to you. Hey, listen, no problem. I completely understand, and honestly, if I was you, I wouldn't let anybody in here without a buyer either. So, let me ask you this. How long are you willing to do this completely on your own with no agents involved whatsoever? Before you might be open to some other options for getting homes? How long? I just want to respect you. How long you want to wait?
2 months.
2 months.
60 days.
Perfect. All right, here's what I'll do. I'll check in with you down the road. If this one's still on the market, great. And if you get it sold, all the power to you. Fair enough? All right, sounds good. Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye, I love you.
Off the phone, on to the next for sale by owner who actually needs your help. And then 3 weeks from now, when this guy hasn't had anybody come to his house because he won't let any agents who might have buyers or don't have buyers, whatever, walk through the door.
Now he's disheveled and less proud of himself, right, for the house that he's put up on the market on his own. Then you have the opportunity to say, well, I haven't even seen the house yet, so why don't we do this? When I stop by one day this week, I'll walk you through some new information that can help make the house better. And then from there. We do whatever we do. Is that a useful lesson for anybody in the room?
That's a huge useful lesson.
You're going to run into this. That's what I talk about, the difference between knowing the path and walking the path. You gotta feel what it feels like for somebody to sit there and tell you, no, 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 no. And then be able to say, okay, no problem. I'm cool with no. How long do you want to still stick with no before we can consider yes? And they will answer you, believe it or not, you'll be amazed what people will say to a question. Because it shows that you respect them, and then you don't feel the need to be in this back and forth tussle all day long. They're like, you know what, okay. How don't you give me a week? Next week, we'll see what happens, I might have different treatments. And then when you call them next week, they're like, hey, yeah, no, slow on the agents, but thanks for calling back, you're a nice person. All right, since it is Money Monday, I want to just make sure I remind you, spend this morning making those follow-up calls. And all those people who were looking for houses over the weekend, who had their house on the market over the weekend, who were thinking about putting their house on the market over the weekend, all those people needed a call from you today. When you had a long weekend to think and digest exactly what's going on in your life, reevaluate some things, now is the time where people are ready to make some decisions. So use Mondays for follow-up, set those major face-to-face appointments that will move the ball forward one step at a time. All right. And if you haven't made hundreds of Dallas calls by now, I invite you to do so. Call your clients, just catch up with them. How's life? How's it going? Listen, I just wanted to invite you to this awesome event. We're having it again this year. It's going to be bigger and better than ever. September 21st. I'll let you know with all the details, but how many people do you think you're going to bring to this? Great. I'll just get you down and we can verify when I send you all the info. Fair enough? Fair enough. Get off the phone. Valas. Great opportunity. You'll be amazed at how many people will say, you know what, and I've been thinking, you know what, and I heard my neighbor was, you know what, and my brother is about to, and all these opportunities will just fall into your lap as a result of you doing great stuff for other people in your life. All right. The more you give, the more you receive. The measure you use, it will be measured unto you. Shout out to the good book on that one. You guys enjoy the rest of your Monday. We'll catch up with you guys every recap. Peace.